Well, speaking of green financing, or in other words, how are we going to pay for this? As you can see from the slide, this is an $85 million project. I'd love to stand up here and say, oh, about 332 and we've got it done, but it is a large project. It's the largest project, of course, the Monroe Clinic has ever undertaken, and we've been planning for this a long time. We plan to finance this through the issuance of tax-exempt bonds. In other words, we will borrow approximately $65 million by selling bonds out on the market. The remaining $20 million will come from what we call our savings accounts, or our cash reserves. As I said, we've been planning for this a long time. We follow a long-range financial plan. We've been working on our long-range facility plan, as you can see, and we've been doing a little bit of saving, knowing that it was going to be time for a major reinvestment in facilities for Monroe Clinic and for the communities it serves. One thing I do want to talk about is the volatility of the financial markets. Our plan is to go forward with financing this summer. As many of you know, or if you felt it in your 401ks, the markets have had serious upheavals, and what this means in the bond markets is last November, these markets literally froze up. There were no deals being done, nobody was buying bonds, nobody was selling bonds. That market has improved. Interest rates have softened and come down that are in alignment with our long-range financial plan, and so we do plan to go out this summer into the fall for financing. The reason I bring this up is probably last November, no one ever thought what happened last November was going to happen. So while we don't expect a major bump that will delay this, if there was a major financial kind of uprise in the market again and the market really hardened up, of course we would delay. And so we like to talk about that because it has to be also the right financial decision as well as the right financial decision. In terms of effect on healthcare costs, I think to keep in mind, and as you know, as Mike talked about it, our last major investment was back in the 70s with some renovation in the 80s, and this is $85 million is a very big number, and this is a 25 to 30-year investment. This adds approximately 4 to 5% to our operating costs each year through depreciation and interest costs. But as we've talked about, we are anticipating some significant expected savings in this new facility. We've talked about what we're going to do through sustainability and through lowering utility costs. We've talked about how we're going to be able to eliminate waste and steps and reduce supply expense, which reduces inventories. By all the processes we're going through now and are building in this building, the ability to deliver health care in a different, a more cost-effective way. The effect on your pocketbook, which is what I'd be thinking about if I were you, is that of course we do have rate increases for Monroe Clinic, and we will continue to have rate increases. But our commitment is this building is not going to be built on higher rate increases in our rates. And a couple of things, actually, even if we wanted to do that, which we wouldn't, and our financial plan commits us to that, really our payment, our reimbursement is really determined by many external factors. So literally we could raise rates to any level we wanted, I guess, but it would not benefit us, and it certainly wouldn't benefit you because, as you know, Medicare, Medicaid, and many of the other insurance programs that many of you participate in, they are all contract-based. So Medicare will basically pay additional each year, whatever little bit they do, or Medicaid, or through the contracts we have with managed care companies means they follow a formula which is tied to a consumer price index, which is tied to inflation. So even if we raise rates 7% or 6%, if that contract says next year we'll reimburse you no more than 3.2%, that's all we'll get. So this isn't really passed down in the way that, that some of the community might think. The other thing is this very stringent commitment to these lean activities, to these cost savings. We know we have to be better, and you've read lots in healthcare journals about how we have to improve and we have to be more efficient. And I think the other thing that's very important as we've built in additional safety features, additional quality, so we have even a higher level of quality than we do. We know that brings value, and we know that reduces cost. So we're very confident in that.